Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and I hope we are online. Let me see if I get a stream indicator. Yes, I think we are online. So good morning and welcome to ShareTreck. It's the 20th of November 2025, and we are looking at the TradingView platform. Yesterday we had the NVDA earnings, and everything seems hunky-dory this morning. All the fears of AI bubble seem to have passed, and we have a lot of greens in the futures. The future is up 1.23% for S&P 500, and Nasdaq futures are up 1.7%. So let us see what the gains are after NVIDIA earning results. So this morning we are somewhere out here trying to negotiate this diagonal line of resistance on the S&P 500 futures, and we are exactly butting heads with that diagonal line of resistance. We are at 6,744, and in my opinion the diagonal line of resistance is at 6,745.75. so it's very close. We are almost there, and if you look at the market sentiment, it's bearish, but it's a bit flat right now, and MACD is improving a little bit even though it is bearish, and momentum is just at average, so it's likely to pick up as soon as the market opens. I expect the momentum to be above average. Now this is a bullish pennant. Regardless of what we may think of the fundamentals and everything, the chart indicates that this is a bullish pennant. So the probability of breaking out on the upside is much higher than the probability of breaking out on the downside. However, if we did break out on the downside, remember we do have a neckline out here which we kissed in the past. I think we did that on the 18th of November. So if we go below this neckline, then we have a target of 6,233. Hi hot dog, good morning, thanks for joining. So this is our target. However, this morning we seem that the probability of breaking out on the upside seems to be much higher. So even if we break out up here, like I can have a target for this, but we do have a resistance. So let us see if we can cover this resistance and get into the parallel channel, and then I'll start working out a target. I don't want to jinx things. I had already jinxed it by putting this target out here. So let's go on and have a look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq is just below the line of resistance out here. This is the minor line of resistance that we had drawn earlier, which has been respected in many times. And we also have a neckline at the bottom here with a target of 22,759.75. Market sentiment is bearish. MACD is bearish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is just below average, ready to pop out as soon as the market opens. And if we break out above this, then our next resistance is likely to be somewhere around 25,644. Let me be more precise. Let me say 25,627.75 is more of a resistance in my opinion. If we break out above the current resistance, the immediate resistance is at around 25,198.25. And right now we are at 25,147 or 24,149, let us say. So just 20 points away from that. So most probably when we open, this is the first resistance that we need to break through. If we don't, and if we push back, then we'll come to this line of support out here. I'm going to mark this green. So for today, the support is going to be at 24,956.00. So this is what I think is likely to be the situation. Next, let us look at gold. Gold is improving a little bit. It's up 0.28. It's in a wedge pattern. Again, just like I said for S&P 500, gold is also showing a probability of breaking out on the upside of this bullish pennant. So if gold and shares both go up at the same time, what does that mean? Right? So I'm a little bit confused about the indications here. So I would rather wait and watch what happens with the market as we go ahead. Put call ratio is almost neutral. And let's go on to look at the indicators where we left them. S&P 500, we were very close to the neckline. Today our first order of business is to pierce 6,647.45, which I think we have been able to do. And the next resistance for us today is going to be 6,703.88. If we break through this, then we have to confirm that this is the support by having the second day candle close above where we closed today inside this parallel. and in which case the middle of the parallel becomes a resistance at 6800.76. As you will notice, market sentiment is bearish, MACD is super bearish, momentum is way below average. So when it comes to market open, we will see how all of these change and we'll take our cues from that. Same way for Nasdaq, we have a neckline which is at 24,180, and our action, price action today is just at the top of yesterday's candle, and it's at 24,643.42, and I think we are still going to be inside this parallel channel when we open this morning, and our first resistance is going to be 25,074.26. That's going to be our first resistance. If we manage to break that, then the next resistance is at 25,202.44, nowhere near the all-time highs. Now let's look at QQQ to get a feel of what exactly is happening. In pre-market sessions, QQQ has blown past a whole bunch of resistances. The first resistance was at 604.90. It's way above that already. The next resistance is at 613.51. That's going to be the main resistance for this morning. And if we break through that, then the next resistance is 617.51. On the other hand, our support is going to be 604.64 today. And failing that, the next support is going to be 600.63. So, the next support is 601.76. So those are the two support levels that I see for QQQ today. One resistance and two supports. Now let's go on and have a look at the market sentiment, which is bearish. MACD is bearish. Momentum is way below average. So when the market opens, we will probably be at around average momentum. I would like to see us end up above average momentum at the end of the day, which would give us hopes of regaining our previous peak, and also hopes that we could confirm getting back into this parallel channel. For that we need two candles, one candle for today to close within the parallel channel, and the second candle tomorrow to close above today's candle inside the parallel channel. That's what will get us confirmed into the parallel channel. So there is a lot of work ahead. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, and let's go and have a look at AI. In AI, I'm looking at NVDA. It's up 5.20%. Yesterday, I picked up a little NVDA on the Canadian side in the pre-market session. I got it at a good price. So it's very profitable. So this morning, I have to consider whether I'm ready to sell it right now or to hold it to ride up a little bit more. I have not yet taken the decision. I'll do that at the end of the technical analysis session. We have bearish market sentiment. We got bearish MACD tending towards the signal line. Momentum below average, but I bet when we open, we are going to be above average with plenty of room on the RSI. There has been talk about the AI bubble, and friends, you already know my thoughts about GPUs getting depreciated, say, charitably in 3 years. So every 3 years, these companies have to pump out billions of dollars to upgrade their chips. That may be good for NVIDIA, but what will happen to the valuation of those companies? Because that money is going to have to be depreciated. Even if they depreciate in 10 years, now they'll have to start depreciating in 20 years. So the market will definitely see those things. So that is problem number one. Problem number two is, because of that, if companies decide that they are not going to do the upgrade cycle and they're going to work with what they have, in that case, NVIDIA doesn't have fresh orders. So the restrictions on NVIDIA will have to be removed for global sales to pick up and global money to flow into NVIDIA. Is that going to happen? I think with Trump, yeah, it could happen. Jensen Huang could pay a visit to the White House, and maybe he can do a 2 kilo gold bar engraved with NVIDIA Blackwell or something, and present it to the great President Trump, and maybe you'll get all those exemptions. I think Apple has already proved that it is possible to do that. So I won't rule that out. If that happens, then probably NVIDIA will be fine, but the other companies which buy the chips in the US, like Google, Microsoft, Meta, all these companies, what happens to their valuation? So that's the big question, right? And Hot Dog is saying the next 3 years are what matters. They are training chips, not inference chips. Yeah, on the other hand, China is focused on inference chips. Hot Dog, you know more about China. I think China is more focused on the inference chips. So they are ahead in the inference side. Just let me know if I'm right on that one. and they are also much less expensive than their US counterparts. So, pardon me. So, in a global competition for inference, I think China would be able to get a little bit of advantage there. Meta is down 1.66. They are in capex. China is 10% what US is. Yeah, they are in training chips. Yeah, got you. Okay. In capex, China is 10% of what US is. But China has got less regulations and less cost of wages. So that 10% is worth way more. Just like India sent the Mars mission for the budget of, I think, the movie Space. So, for the budget of a Hollywood movie, I think India was able to send a satellite to Mars. The same way, China has got lower costs than the US, and therefore it would be able to do with 10% what US may probably need to do with 100%. So I won't rule that out. The only problem for China is reputation and credibility, that they would be stable and they would not misuse their power when they get it. So if that hurdle is overcome and there's a more benevolent posture from China on an ongoing basis, they will need some time to build it up, because in the Western press, the credibility of China is very low. They need to work on that. Now, coming to Meta, as I said yesterday, that Meta, even though it looked positive, it was going to create a red candle. It did create a red candle. And I stand by that again today as well, because these companies have all spent a whole lot of money, and Michael Burry is waiting there with a lot of shorts. So unless we have a short squeeze coming up, right, I would expect that we are going to go and touch 571.28, at which time I would probably dollar cost average a little more of Meta on the Canadian side. So that's my plan. Next, let's go on to Google. Google has created a topping tail yesterday, and this morning they're already very close to the top of the topping tail. Google is one exception, I would say. We have maintained that right from the beginning. Even when in the Mag 7 Google was lagging, I was saying that Google is a way better company in terms of its ratios, and also they have been investing on AI for a long period of time, and they have original patents and everything. So they are not the last one to come in, and Gemini 3 is giving them a lot of cred, and Warren Buffett buying Google gives them stability, because it will be a long-term stake, and that's a good portion of Google shares which are not going to come back into the market for quite a while. So I think that Google would probably go ahead and meet our target of 309.64 before making any moves downwards. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen for Google. Unfortunately, I don't have Google in my portfolio. And we have Amazon up 1.99%. This particular line of support definitely helped, and it pushed up everything. And today, in pre-market session, we are trying to recapture the opening of 18th of November. So that is going to be our first resistance, 228.17. If we break through with that, then our next resistance is going to be 232.98. So let us see where we go. Next we have Apple. Apple is up 0.51% in pre-market trades. This support line has worked very well, and we are going to get some support at 268.56. But if you look at this support line, it was breached once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. When the 6th time happens, it's likely to break down. It's, I think, 70% more likely to break down than to break upwards. Hi, Big Bear Dave. Welcome. Join us. It's not a bearish day this morning. Yeah, bear trap. I was thinking the same thing. You read my mind. So now Microsoft is up 1.26% in pre-market trades. It's going to get stiff resistance at 494.95, which we haven't been able to break for the last 2 business days. So that's going to be the first resistance. Second resistance is going to be 498.07, and then we have support. Today it's going to be 489.28. Jobs data, is that the BLS? Let's see. I'll do a minor detour. I will say economic calendar. Non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. Yeah, they are supposed to be there at around 8:30 a.m. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, it will, but we can't count our chickens before they hatch. So I think that the data that's coming from BLS is likely to be quite suspect. So we'll have to see how the market reacts. Now let's look at Tesla. I would say that Microsoft still will continue to go downwards. All sentiments are bearish, and they have put a whole lot of money into it, and they don't have their full hold on OpenAI as well. So I think with Google becoming stronger, Microsoft definitely has its work cut out, so it's likely to be bearish. Tesla is up 2.32% in pre-market trade, and the Delaware Supreme Court will soon rule on Elon Musk's 2018 pay package, which could affect Tesla's profits by $26 billion over 2 years due to a new stock compensation plan. And this is a gong show out here. I'm waiting to see what happens. Are we going to break this resistance? We have hit it for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, unable to clear that, and it's a confirmed resistance. So now I think I'm still focused on 350.74. The Bureau of Labor Statistics on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. will release the September non-farm payroll number, ending a shutdown-induced blackout on official numbers. The report is forecast to show a gain of 50,000 jobs in public sectors, up from initially reported 22,000 in August, but still indicative of a soft. They will provide little help for policymakers trying to navigate. Yeah, there is not much to hold stock on that. It's more or less going to be ignored unless it comes drastically bad, which I don't think the Trump admin will allow to happen. Anyway, I'm still negative on Tesla. We could probably see a red candle like we saw on the last 2 days. Let's look at Oracle. Oracle is up 3.21%. As I mentioned, it's going to consolidate and move towards this diagonal line of resistance. It has been beaten down as much as it can be, in my opinion, and you can see the market bearish sentiment was flat, and it could start improving a little bit. MACD is improving. Momentum, which was at the rock bottom, is back into the civilized zone and moving towards the average. So I think a whole lot of consolidation is needed, and I think if we break out above this diagonal line of resistance, which will be today at 226.50, and we stay above it, because right now we are already above it. If we stay above it, then our next challenge will be to break out of this diagonal line of resistance, and in the meantime we'll see what pattern forms out here and see if we can get some bounce back. With that said, let's look at AMD. AMD is up 4.26%. I'm glad I sold my AMD shorts, and I also sold off my shorts for SMCI. So I'm happy. I took profits on SMCI. I took a bit of loss on AMD shorts, but between the two, I think it was a wipeout or washout. Now our resistance for today for AMD is 236.67, failing which the next resistance is likely to be 240.52, and our support is going to be 223.60. Right now we are at 233.14. We are pretty high out here, so that's the range for AMD, and you can see market sentiment is still bearish. MACD is also still bearish. SMCI is up 6.37, but I think SMCI is one of the weakest companies in the whole pack. There is a lot of dubious news out there, which we have seen in the past. So I would rather be a bit pessimistic about SMCI. I would like to see it confirm above the support of 34.15 and build a support out here, so that it can be a basis on which it can start moving up again. But right now all I am seeing is a bearish pattern and bearish indicators. So Broadcom is up 3.83% in pre-market trade. It's going to get good support at 345.75. Let me mark this green, and it's also going to get a good support on the line below it, which is going to be at around 343.47. So there is really strong support out here, and it will also get some support out here. Let me just draw a line of support out here. So I think there's a good deal of support at this level at around 362.36. Let's go on to Palantir, which is up 3.91% in pre-market trades. and it's going to get a resistance today. Palantir will get a resistance at 174.80, and it will get plenty of support somewhere in the region of around 165.29. SMH is up 2.49%. It will get support at around 344.39. That's going to be the first support for it, and it should have some resistance at 351.97. That's the range for SMH. Tempus AI is up 3.75%, doing extremely well. I think the next resistance for Tempus AI would be 75.77. If it manages to break through that, then we will come to a resistance of around 82.97. I don't see Tempus AI going up so high in one day. So for today, I would probably see an opening and then potentially a red candle. That's what I'm thinking for Tempus AI. And let me look at what David Best is saying. No EV voucher. Yeah, but it has had a different effect for Tesla. Because of lack of EV vouchers, other EV companies are losing sales to Tesla. Now, let us say Tesla sales were down in October. Yeah, it was down in China as well. It was down in other markets, aging models. Yeah, I know all of those things, David. I'm in your camp. I'm a perma bear on Tesla. So you're preaching to the converted out here. Let us go to Genomics. And in Genomics, I'm looking at Prime. Prime is down 0.54%. And we still have resistance at around 3.74 this morning. Pre-market, we are at 3.70. Overall sentiment is negative out here. Intelia is up 2.79% in pre-market trades, and we have a gap down here. So I would say that the first resistance is going to be at 10.71 for Intelia. Caribou Biosciences is up 1.65%. It has resistance at 1.85, and pre-market it's at 1.85. I'd like to watch it open and go above 1.85. I have the stocks for Caribou Biosciences, so I have a bias that it should improve, but I have no reason why it should. Beam Therapeutics is up 2.91% in pre-market trades. Everything in the indication shows that it is bearish. So I'm expecting a red candle today with a support at $21. Altimmune is up 0.87%. I'm really relieved that it had a big gain and it has gone above this horizontal line of support of 4.40. But this is a topping tail from yesterday. So I would be relieved if we can close above the topping tail, because then, until then, we'll have this bearish candle, which will have a major impact. I would be happy if we form a few more red candles within the body of this candle from yesterday, so that we can look at a bullish pennant and then a breakout on the upside. Everything is going for Altimmune, market sentiment, MACD, everything. So I'm hoping for the best here. Editas is up 1.59% in pre-market trades. It will definitely get resistance at 2.64, and it could get some support at 2.47. It's at 2.56 right now. Illumina is up 0.50%, still moving under this diagonal line of resistance, which today is going to be at 122.27. If we break out from here, then I can have a bull flag target for it. But right now, I don't want to jinx it, so I'm going to wait. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 1.87% in pre-market trades, and it has got a resistance at 53.17. It fell below this yesterday, and it has not yet confirmed below this. So I would like to see what happens to today's candle. If today's candle closes below 53.22 but does not close below 50.68, then I would say that we have not yet confirmed the resistance. We still have an option of breaking out. So that's where we are. But everything is bearish out here. Many people are voicing their frustration on CRISPR stock price, but I think this is a good opportunity to dollar cost average. It's fundamentally a sound company, good amount of cash in its balance sheet. So I think I would be bullish on CRISPR Therapeutics, and maybe I'll nibble a little bit on CRISPR Therapeutics. Maybe later on today, if I see that it's coming down to somewhere around 50.73. The share price is a bit high for me as a small investor, so I might probably look at 100 shares. Allogene is up 0.79% in pre-market trades. It still has resistance at 1.27. It's exactly at 1.27 this morning, and we have had a very bearish candle before that. So I would like to see us close above this line of resistance. and then we'll take it from there. Right now it's on a mend. Allogene is on a mend. Grail is up 0.85%, but it still faces a huge resistance, and that resistance today is going to be at 91.78. We are still under the influence of this topping tail, which is a very bearish signal, but the fact that we are creating a large bull flag, a whole area of consolidation, gives me optimism that we could potentially break out of this resistance. PACB is up 1.70%. I still don't see any bullish signs out here. ARCG is up 1.58%. It's above this diagonal line of support, which today is at 26.98. So I'm going to mark this green. And I think we need to close above 27.27 in order to confirm this diagonal line of support. Next we have Vertex. Vertex is down 0.24%, but it still has got very good support at 413.85. Ginkgo Bioworks is up 3.67%. But if the overall market goes down, I can see a red candle for Ginkgo. Otherwise, I'm feeling a bit happy about where it is right now. It has done a consolidation. It could potentially be forming a cup and handle pattern. Who knows? It's very premature right now. But overall, the trend is bearish. We could potentially also be forming a bear flag. But having beaten down so much, let me just give you an idea of how much we have been beaten down. We have dropped almost 51% since 16th of October. So that's a huge drop. So we have to be very careful with Ginkgo Bioworks. It may potentially consolidate here and then try to bounce back upwards. But until a bullish pattern emerges, I'm going to stay away from Ginkgo Bioworks. Then let us look at Precision, which is up 3.08% in pre-market trades. It's going to get very good support at around 4.22. There is no new pattern out here that I can use at this point of time. So I don't know what to make out of Precision. Eli Lilly is moving from strength to strength. It's down 0.06% in pre-market trade. That's basically because we are approaching the ceiling of the RSI. But later on during the day, I wouldn't be surprised if we consolidate. We consolidated a little bit, got the RSI a bit flattened, and then moved up a little bit. We'll be consolidating a little more again. Eli Lilly is one of the premium companies, so I'm happy where it's going. Let's look at Ultragenics, which is flat in pre-market trades, and we will have resistance today at 32.84, and we'll have support today at 31.13. Overall, Ultragenics is looking bearish. Now let us go and look at currencies. Bitcoin is up 0.30%, but I think this time around Bitcoin is going to have some problems. It's correlated with the stock market, but then MSTR and companies like that which have borrowed money and bought Bitcoin, those companies are going to be under a whole lot of pressure, and what they do and what happens to them can also impact on Bitcoin and by extension to altcoins. So I would be very careful with the altcoin as well as Bitcoin area. So that's all I want to say at this point of time. Yeah, all those countries, I mean, Elon is a toxic brand for them, and nothing much has happened even in terms of robotics, but a lot of promises can be given and the market can come up. I had a message from Jesse Isaacson, another of our members and subscribers. He was saying that when he shorts Tesla, he's very careful and he watches it very closely because he says whenever the shares are down, Elon Musk will come and he's very good at saying something, and immediately the market starts going up for Tesla. So one has to be careful that place also. So David, I hear you, but he's got a lot of voodoo magic and voodoo Jews and things like that and he can always bring it up. Bill Gates is supposed to be one of the biggest shorts on Tesla, and he's maintaining the shorts because he sees what we are seeing, but there is a whole lot of fanboy club for Tesla and they are not going to allow Tesla to drop. So that's the situation out there. Let's go and have a look at gold just before we close. Let's look at gold. So gold is looking pretty bullish to me, and I would say that instead of having this diagonal line, maybe I could have had a sharper pennant which will close earlier, but since I've already done this, I'm going to leave it as it is. I think our chances of breaking out on the upside is much higher than breaking out on the low side. A depression is when you lose your job. Yeah, I have a nephew who lives in UK, and I was talking to him, and he says that his friends are all losing their jobs. He has got his job yet. He's in the software business, software industry, and he's doing pretty well. But he has got a lot of friends. He thought that those friends had their jobs, but it's only recently he has realized that they don't have a job. Some have been unemployed for almost a year. So yeah, things seem to be really difficult in the UK. In US also, there is unemployment. The gig economy is kind of sustaining some people. Delayed September report. Let us open that. Okay, here we are. Consensus non-farm payrolls was 50K and we got 119K. Unemployment rate 4.3, we got 4.4. Higher unemployment. Average hourly earnings month over month was expected to go up 0.3%. It went up only 0.38%. Average hourly wage earnings 3.7. It went up 3.8. Participation rate has gone up a little. Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index consensus was a drop of minus 3.1, but it was only minus 1.7. Average weekly hours, yeah, same. Government payrolls, manufacturing payrolls was supposed to be down minus 8K, it's down minus 6K. Non-farm payrolls private, it was supposed to be down 62K, it's down 97K. Okay. You look at the difference out here, non-farm payrolls. $50K was the consensus, we got more. And non-farm payrolls private is higher than we expected. So this is looking way better. Do you believe this? Do you believe this? I don't. It's looking super. I don't believe this. Guys, if you're online, let me know if you believe this. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Just before we close, let us look at the futures and see where we are. 1.17. Let me go to the 1 minute time frame and see what is the effect of this payroll report. See, it is dropping down and we have support out here somewhere around 6737.50. So let us see what happens with this one. 830, 821, 824. Yeah, it's picking up. It's picking up. It had dropped before, but it's picking up now. Let us see where the dust settles, because what we think doesn't matter. What the market thinks is what matters. So I think our analysis should be more of what the market is going to think. I think the market will buy it. Most of the participants are looking for just an excuse to continue dip buying. So I think things are going to go up again. My shorts will suffer, but it's going to be a short-term phenomenon. How long can this go on? We have repo issues, and yeah, I think that's where I'll end the session today. And yeah, guys, have a nice day. MSTT 0. Let us see where MSTR is. Let us see where MSTR is. Let us do an analysis of MSTR just for the fun. Okay, so MSTR, right? You can see the head and shoulder, and then it came down. Could this be another head and shoulder? Who knows, right? But overall, if you look at it, market sentiment bearish, MACD bearish, momentum is very low, so probably a dead cat bounce out here. But There is a gap down which needs to be filled up. Yeah, it's looking very weak at this point of time. Okay guys, thanks for joining. Have a great day, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow, or if I make a video during the day. If you haven't seen the CRISPR Therapeutics video, have a look at it. Scientists have found that the Epstein-Barr virus, this is the good Epstein, Epstein-Barr virus is responsible for potentially some section of people getting lupus. And that discovery can help CRISPR Therapeutics and a bunch of companies which are working on lupus therapy or targeting B cells in order to handle lupus and other such conditions. And also companies which are working on lupus itself using CAR T therapies and other therapies. So have a look at that video. I have given you my thoughts and give me your feedback. Bye for now guys. See you later.